Learn all about the history of the Kentucky River through a special riverboat tour.
That's right. Lee and Hayley recently had the chance to step aboard the Kentucky River Thoroughbred from Kentucky State University.
A lot of people have a certain opinion of the river, and sometimes that opinion isn't very good. So I would challenge people on their opinion, say, okay, since we're doing science education, what we're going to do is collect some water, we're going to do some tests, we're going to use that data and compare it to state standards.
Well, how does the river do with those standards?
It's almost always is passing.
Really? Yeah. Because if you walk, say, especially after it rains, you may see debris, you see things floating around.
Right.
And plus, it's brown in color, so you go, oh, the river's dirty.
Well, and as it turns out, that's the time when the river is going to fail its designated uses or any of its standards. And that's just due to the massive influx of material, pollution that comes into the river. And it's interesting that you say the river is brown because, as it turns out, soil is the most common pollutant in all Kentucky's and the nation's water.
Well, here's what's not normal. This thing flows north. That's weird.
But rivers always flow to the low spot, and if it happens to be lower in the north than the south, it's going to flow north.
But most rivers flow towards the equator, don't they?
Not exactly. Yeah. It all depends on the topography, the shape of the land.
Yeah, but you can only go so long before gravity's going to pull it to the equator, right?
That's not the way I remember it working. But
what kind of scientist are you?
Lee's suddenly not the biggest water expert that he thought he was. Wait a minute, you have actual training.
Sorry.
But that's I guess because the Appalachian
here we go. Tell us more, Lee. Tell us more.
Right?
Yeah.
At one point, all of Kentucky was underwater, or most of Kentucky was underwater, as the Ordovician Sea. It was hundreds of millions of years ago.
You talk about a vacation spot. That was beautiful back then.
Yeah, you missed out on the beachfront property opportunities then.
So the whole point of this, you want to teach people the things that you're teaching Lee right now, but all about this watershed. One of the great things that this, or a great resource, this is great for kids. You have a ton of school groups that come out here. Kind of tell us about that.
Yeah, we often have, we have programs for kids from kindergarten all the way up to 12th grade in high school. And of course, the university utilizes the boat as well. So we have professors that bring their students on here. We have a couple of professors that do a whole semester class on the water quality. And the kids come down and take water samples and then analyze those water samples.
Overall, though, Ed, we should be, as a state, pretty proud of the quality of water that we've got here in the Kentucky River, that we're pretty healthy.
That is so, but that doesn't mean, of course, that we can just sit on our laurels or rest on our laurels.
We throw our laurels in the water.
Yeah, we don't want to do that. That'd be polluting the waters. Because there certainly are plenty of things that we as individuals can do to help maintain the water quality as well as improve it. And I always, that's part of our cruising as well, is once people find out the condition of the waterway, what are some things that they can do?
Hayley's doing her part by only showering once a week.
Oh, whether she needs it or not, right?
Yeah, that's right. Whether I need it or not, like Queen Victoria.
If we're heading upstream from the Riverview Park boat dock, we'll usually make it to about the east-west connector bridges. If the weather conditions are right and the river's not raging too much, then we can make it to just past Big Eddy Beach. That used to be a hot spot back in the late 50s and into the 60s, but it's kind of
Lee remembers.
Popular now. Oh yeah, you've been there.
My first kiss was at Big Eddy Beach.
Oh, we got to hear a great story.
I was mad at that guy, let me tell you.
Oh wow.
Come check it out. It's going to be awesome and free. You cannot beat that. My last question is, what's our top speed on this vessel? How fast can we get going? Because we like speed.
Isn't it a whopping about 8 miles an hour?
Yeah, I think we cruise at about 8 miles an hour.
It's going to be hard to water ski behind the thing.
Yeah, exactly. No water skiing, just cruising. Leisurely cruising.
We had such a good time because it was such a smooth ride, and you learned so much from those guys.
Yeah, you did, didn't you?
Yeah, well,
yeah. He's still questioning that knowledge that he got dropped on him on that boat.
A little bit. All right. Anyway, the 90-minute cruises, you got to book those ahead of time, by the way. So.
Yeah, but they are free. But you need to call 502-597-6421. It's here on the bottom of your screen, or email ed.wilcox@kysu.edu to reserve your trip.
All right, coming up, it's hard to decide. We'll have to order at Nuke's Eatery.
I always stare at the menu for a very long time, but we're talking about some of their fresh menu items up next. We'll be right back.